Good evening. Welcome to our weekly deep dive into the stories shaping Utah. I'm RSL fan 2393, and in a world that moves faster than ever, staying informed about what's happening right here in our own backyard is more critical than ever. It's about understanding the forces at play, the decisions being made, and the events that impact our daily lives, our families, and our future. We're not just going to skim the headlines, we're going to look deeper to understand the context and the consequences behind the news. Tonight we're counting down the top 10 stories from across the Beehive State that you absolutely need to know about. From significant policy decisions being handed down from Capitol Hill and Salt Lake City, to the environmental challenges we're collectively facing, from economic shifts creating new opportunities to the inspiring ways our communities are coming together in times of need. These aren't just news items, they are pieces of a larger puzzle that tells the story of Utah right now. Our goal here is to keep you informed, to provide the clarity and depth you deserve. We believe that a well-informed community is a strong community, so whether you're a lifelong Utahn or new to the state, these are the updates that matter most this week. We'll break down each story, explore the human element behind it, and give you the full picture. Let's get started. We begin on Capitol Hill, where Governor Spencer Cox has unveiled a landmark education funding initiative, one he calls a generational investment in Utah's students and teachers. The plan allocates an unprecedented amount of the state's budget surplus directly into our public school system. The proposal isn't just about adding more dollars, it's a strategic plan aimed at increasing teacher salaries to attract and retain the best educators, reducing classroom sizes to provide more individualized attention, and expanding access to technology and STEM programs, especially in underserved rural districts. The governor emphasized that a strong economy tomorrow is built on the foundation of a strong education system today. The ripple effects of this announcement are already being felt across the state. School district superintendents have expressed cautious optimism, highlighting the potential to finally address long-standing resource gaps and infrastructure needs. For parents and students, this could mean more opportunities, better-equipped classrooms, and a higher quality of learning. However, the plan is not without its critics. Some legislative voices are raising questions about the long-term sustainability of the funding and are calling for more detailed accountability measures to ensure the money is spent effectively and transparently. The debate is just beginning, but the conversation itself marks a pivotal moment for education in Utah. Turning now to a familiar but increasingly urgent issue for residents along the Wasatch Front, the quality of the air we breathe. This week, the Utah Division of Air Quality issued a mandatory action alert for Salt Lake, Davis, and Utah counties as a strong inversion settled into the valleys. This atmospheric lid traps pollutants close to the ground, creating a thick, soupy haze that obscures the mountains and poses a significant health risk. The primary culprits remain vehicle emissions and industrial output, compounded by wood-burning stoves, which are now temporarily banned under the alert. Officials are urging residents to take this seriously. Health experts are sounding the alarm, particularly for vulnerable populations. Children, the elderly, and individuals with respiratory conditions like asthma are at the highest risk. They recommend limiting time outdoors, avoiding strenuous activity, and using high-efficiency air purifiers indoors if possible. The guidance is clear. If you can see the pollution, it's affecting your health. The city is encouraging the use of public transit by offering free fare days and promoting teleworking to reduce the number of cars on the road. This isn't just a weather event. It's a public health challenge that demands a community-wide response and a hard look at long-term solutions. From an invisible threat to a very visible one. A powerful winter storm system slammed into northern Utah this week, burying mountain communities and creating treacherous conditions across the region. The storm, which the National Weather Service had been tracking for days, delivered on its promise of heavy snowfall, with ski resorts in the Cottonwood Canyons reporting multiple feet of fresh powder. While a blessing for the state's snowpack and the ski industry, the storm brought daily life to a grinding halt for many. The Utah Department of Transportation was forced to close major arteries, including sections of I-80 and the Canyon roads, for avalanche control work, and due to numerous spinouts and accidents. The impact was felt far beyond the highways. Many school districts declared a snow day, giving thousands of students an unexpected day off. Businesses operated with skeleton crews as employees struggled with the commute, and power outages were reported in several neighborhoods as heavy, Wet snow brought down branches and power lines. First responders and snowplow drivers have been working around the clock, battling relentless snowfall and freezing temperatures to keep essential services running and clear the roads. It's a stark reminder of the power of nature in the Mountain West, and the resilience of the communities that call these snowy landscapes home. Now for some brighter news from the hardwood floor of the Delta Center. The Utah Jazz have officially secured their spot in the NBA playoffs, a testament to a season of grit, teamwork, and honestly, some pretty spectacular performances. The clinching victory came in a hard-fought game this week, sending a wave of excitement through their dedicated fan base. This achievement wasn't a foregone conclusion at the start of the season. The team has overcome injuries and navigated a highly competitive Western Conference, relying on both their star players and the surprising contributions of their rising talent. Coach Will Hardy's leadership has been widely praised for forging a cohesive and resilient unit. The focus now shifts from the regular season to the intense pressure of the playoffs. The team has a handful of games left to fine-tune their strategies and, crucially, to jockey for seeding, which could determine their first-round opponent. For the fans, the Take Note faithful, the real season is just beginning. The energy in Salt Lake City is palpable as the community rallies behind its team, hoping for a deep and memorable postseason run. The journey ahead will be challenging, but for now, the Utah Jazz and their supporters are celebrating a well-earned achievement and looking forward to the bright lights of the NBA playoffs. The economic landscape of Utah continues to evolve, with the Silicon Slopes moniker gaining more and more traction. This week saw a major milestone in that growth with the grand opening of a new state-of-the-art tech campus in Provo. This sprawling complex, developed by a leading software company, is more than just a new set of office buildings. It's a symbol of the region's booming tech sector. The hub is expected to create hundreds of high-paying jobs, ranging from software engineering and data analysis to marketing and project management, further diversifying the local economy and providing new opportunities for graduates from nearby universities like BYU and UVU. Local leaders and economic developers are hailing the opening as a significant win for the state. They point to the ripple effect such an investment has, not just in direct employment but also in supporting local businesses, from restaurants and coffee shops to real estate and construction. The development is designed to be a collaborative space, fostering innovation and attracting even more talent and investment to the area. However, this rapid growth also brings challenges, including increased demand for housing and potential strain on infrastructure, issues that city planners are now actively working to address as Provo solidifies its position as a key player in the nation's tech industry. While the recent snowstorm provided some relief, the bigger picture for Utah's water supply remains a serious concern. State water managers reported this week that despite a near-average snowpack in some areas, overall drought conditions have worsened across much of the state, particularly in southern and eastern Utah. Years of below-average precipitation have taken a toll on our reservoirs, which are still sitting well below their historical averages for this time of year. The Great Salt Lake, a critical indicator of the region's hydrological health, remains near its record low levels, raising ecological and economic alarms. In response, a growing number of municipalities are implementing stricter water restrictions ahead of the summer season. These measures include limitations on lawn watering days, prohibitions on filling new swimming pools, and urgent calls for all residents to reduce their indoor water consumption. State officials are rolling out new public awareness campaigns, emphasizing conservation efforts like fixing leaks and converting lawns to more water-wise landscaping. The message is unequivocal: every drop counts. This is a long-term challenge that requires a fundamental shift in how Utahns think about and use their most precious resource. From the laboratories at the University of Utah comes a story of hope and scientific progress. A team of researchers this week announced a significant breakthrough in the field of neuroscience that could change the way we understand and treat neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The study, published in a prestigious scientific journal, identifies a specific cellular pathway that plays a key role in the progression of these conditions. For years, scientists have been searching for this kind of clarity, and this discovery opens up a completely new avenue for therapeutic intervention. While it's important to stress that this is early-stage research and a cure is not imminent, the significance cannot be overstated. The lead researchers explained that by understanding this mechanism, they can now begin to develop drugs that target it directly, potentially slowing or even halting the damage these diseases cause to the brain. The discovery is the result of years of painstaking work, funded by a combination of federal grants and private donations. It's a powerful example of the world-class research happening right here in Utah, research that has the potential to impact millions of lives around the globe. Utah's stunning landscapes are defined by their wildlife, and this week we have an encouraging update on efforts to protect it. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, in partnership with several conservation groups, has announced the expansion of a critical wildlife corridor initiative. The project focuses on constructing more wildlife overpasses and underpasses along major highways, particularly in areas known for high rates of vehicle collisions with migrating deer, elk, and moose. These structures have proven remarkably effective in reducing accidents, saving both animal and human lives, and maintaining habitat connectivity for these iconic species. This expansion is being funded by a mix of state funds and private donations, highlighting a growing public commitment to conservation. Community involvement is a cornerstone of the project's success. Volunteers are playing a vital role in habitat restoration projects, removing old fencing that can impede animal movement and planting native vegetation in key migration areas. These grassroots efforts, combined with large-scale infrastructure projects, represent a comprehensive strategy to ensure that Utah's wildlife can not only survive but thrive for generations to come, preserving the wild spirit of the state. For anyone trying to buy or rent a home in Utah, our next story will come as no surprise. The latest housing market report was released this week, and it paints a complex and challenging picture. While the frantic pace of price increases has cooled slightly compared to the last 2 years, affordability remains a major crisis for many Utah families. The median home price in the most populated counties is still near its all-time high, putting homeownership out of reach for a significant portion of the population. The report cites a persistent lack of inventory as the primary driver of these high prices. On the rental side, the situation is equally difficult. Vacancy rates are incredibly low, which gives landlords leverage to increase rents, squeezing the budgets of working families, students, and young professionals. The report does highlight a surge in new apartment construction, particularly along the Wasatch Front, which may eventually help to ease the pressure. However, experts caution that it will take a long time for this new supply to meet the overwhelming demand. This data underscores a fundamental economic challenge facing the state as it continues to grow at a rapid pace. We end tonight with a powerful story of resilience and compassion from a small Utah town recently devastated by flash flooding. After a sudden and intense thunderstorm overwhelmed local waterways, homes and businesses were inundated with mud and debris, leaving families displaced and facing a daunting cleanup. The damage was swift and severe, a heartbreaking blow to this tight-knit community. But almost as quickly as the waters rose, so did the spirit of the community. In the face of devastation, neighbors immediately began helping neighbors, a testament to the character of the people who live there. The response has been nothing short of inspiring. Volunteers from across the region have poured in, armed with shovels, wheelbarrows, and a determination to help. Local businesses have donated food, water, and cleaning supplies, while churches and schools have opened their doors to serve as shelters and donation centers. A fundraising campaign organized online has already raised tens of thousands of dollars to help affected families begin the long and difficult process of rebuilding their lives. It's a story that shows that even in the darkest of times, the strength of a community can shine through, offering a powerful reminder of what's possible when people come together to support one another. And that brings us to the end of our roundup. From the halls of government to the peaks of our mountains, from our bustling cities to our quiet neighborhoods, these are the stories that have defined our week here in Utah. They reflect our challenges, our triumphs, and the ongoing conversation about who we are and where we're going as a state. Understanding these events is the first step toward engaging with them. Whether it's by conserving water, getting involved in a community project, or simply having a more informed discussion with your friends and family, the news doesn't stop here, and neither will we. We are committed to continuing this conversation, to digging deep and bringing you the stories that matter with the context and clarity you need. Thank you for spending your time with us tonight. for your commitment to staying informed and for being part of this community. We believe that by understanding the world around us, we are better equipped to shape it for the better. We want to hear what you think. Which of these stories resonated most with you? Is there a story in your community that you think we should be covering? Let us know in the comments below. Your perspective is invaluable, and if you found this report helpful, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you won't miss our future updates. I'm RSL Fan 2393. Thanks for watching.